Cell signaling mechanisms. Introduction. The human body is a complex, highly organized structure made up of unique cells that work together to accomplish the specific functions necessary for sustaining life. Anatomy is organized by levels from the smallest components of cells to the largest organs and their relationships to other organs. Cell signaling. Cell. It is the basic structural and functional unit of organisms. Cells typically communicate using chemical signals. Signal. It conveys information or instructions by means of gesture, actions, or sound. Cells have proteins called receptors that bind to signaling molecules and initiate a physiological response. Overview of cell signaling. These chemical signals, which are proteins or other molecules produced by sending cells, are often secreted from the cell and released into the extracellular space. It floats like messages in a bottle over to neighboring cells. In order to detect a signal that is a target cell, a neighbor cell must have the right receptor for that signal. The complex interaction of the activated receptor with other proteins inside the cell before the ultimate physiological effect of the ligand on the cell's behavior is called signal transduction or cell signaling. Receptor. Cells often send out tiny chemical signals that act on the receptors of the target cell. In cell signaling mechanisms, the cell communicate with one another with the help of these receptors. Receptors are generally transmembrane proteins which bind to ligands outside the cell and transmit the signal to internal signaling pathway to create a response. When a signaling molecule binds to its receptor, it alters the shape or activity of the receptor, triggering a change inside of the cell. Signaling molecules are often called ligands, a general term for molecules that bind specifically to other molecules. Ligands. Chemical signals are released by signaling cell in the form of small, usually volatile or soluble molecule called ligand. The message carried by a ligand is often relayed through a chain of chemical messengers inside the cell. Ultimately, it leads to a change in the cell, such as alternation in the activity of gene or even the induction of a whole process such as cell division. Thus, the original intercellular signal is converted into intracellular signal that triggers a response. Why do cells communicate? Maintenance of homeostasis, control of division and cell death, adaptation to environmental conditions, control of development and growth, release and production of other regulatory molecules, regulation of metabolism. Steps in cell signaling: synthesis of signaling molecule, release of signaling molecule, transport of signal to target cell, detection and binding of signal by specific receptor, changes due to receptor signaling complex, signal removal and response termination. Intercellular signaling. Transfer of information from one cell to another. However, not all sending and receiving cells are next door, nor do all cell pairs exchange signals in the same way. There are four basic categories of chemical signaling found in multicellular organism: paracrine signaling, autocrine signaling, endocrine signaling, signaling by direct contact. The main difference between the different categories of signaling is that the distance that the signal travels through the organisms to reach the target cell. Paracrine signaling. Cells that are near one another communicate through the release of chemical messengers, ligands that can diffuse through the space between the cells. Cells communicate over short distances is known as paracrine signaling. Paracrine signaling allows cells to locally coordinate activities with their neighboring cells. It is used in many different tissues and contexts. Paracrine signaling are especially important during development. Synaptic signaling. One unique example of paracrine signaling is synaptic signaling, in which nerve cell transmits signals. Synapse, the junction between two nerve cells where the signal transmission occurs. When the sending neuron fires, an electrical impulse moves rapidly through the cell, traveling down a long fiber-like extension called an axon. When the impulse reaches the synapse, it triggers the release of ligands called neurotransmitters, which quickly cross the small gap between the nerve cells. When the neurotransmitter arrives at the receiving cell, it binds to receptors and causes a chemical change inside of the cell, often opening ion channels and changing the electrical potential across the membrane. The neurotransmitters that are released into the chemical synapse are quickly degraded or taken back up by the sending cell. This resets the system so the synapse is prepared to respond quickly to the next signal. Autocrine signaling. In autocrine signaling, a cell signals to itself releasing a ligand that binds to receptors on its own surface, or depending on the type of signal, to receptors inside of the cell. It may seem like an odd thing for a cell to do, but autocrine signaling plays an important role in many processes. For instance, autocrine is important during development, helping cells take on and reinforce their correct identities. From a medical standpoint, autocrine signaling is important in cancer and it is thought to play a key role in metastasis, the spread of cancer from its original site to other parts of the body. In many cases, a signal may have both autocrine and paracrine effects, binding to the sending cells as well as other similar cells in the area. Endocrine signaling. When cells need to transmit signals over long distance, it can often use the circulatory system as a distribution network for the messages sending. In long-distance endocrine signaling, signals are produced by specialized cells and released into the bloodstream, which carries them to target cell in distant parts of the body. Signals that are produced in one part of the body and travel through the circulation to reach faraway targets are known as hormones. Intracellular signaling. The transmission of molecular signals from a cell exterior to its interior, transmitted between cells by the secretion of hormones which picked up by the different cells, dependent on all the cells of its different groups communicating effectively with their surroundings. Once a cell picks up a hormonal or sensory signal, it must transmit this information from the surface to the interior parts of the cell. Signaling through cell-to-cell contact. Gap junctions in animal and plasmodesmata in plants are tiny channels that directly connect neighbor cells. These waterfall channels allow small signaling molecules called intracellular mediators to diffuse between the two cells. Small molecules and ions are able to move between cells, but large molecules like proteins and DNA cannot fit through the channel without special assistance. The transfer of signaling molecules transmits the current state of one cell to its neighbor. This allows a group of cells to coordinate their response to a signal in that only one may have received. In plants, plasmodesmata between almost all cells, making the entire plant into one giant network. In another form of direct signaling, two cells may bind to one another because it carry complementary proteins on their surfaces. When the proteins bind to one another, this interaction changes the shape of one or both proteins transmitting a signal. Cell-to-cell contact signaling is important in the immune system, where immune cells use cell surface to make recognized self cells and cells infected by pathogens. Agonist, an agent which activates a receptor to produce an effect to that of physiological signal molecule. They are of different types: inverse agonist, antagonist, partial agonist. Inverse agonist. An agent which activates a receptor to produce effect of an opposite direction to that of agonist. Antagonist, an agent which prevents the action of an agonist on a receptor or the subsequent response but does not have any effects of its own. Partial agonist, an agent which activates a receptor to produce a submaximal effect but antagonizes the full agonist. Functions of receptors: to propagate regulatory signals from outside to within the effector cell when the molecular species carrying the signal cannot itself penetrate the cell membrane, to amplify the signal, to integrate various intracellular and extracellular regulatory signals. Types of receptors. Receptors come in many types, but it can be divided into two categories, and they are intracellular receptor and cell surface receptor. Intracellular receptors are found in the side of the cell, in the cytoplasm or nucleus. Cell surface receptors are found in the plasma membrane, usually called membrane receptor. Cell receptors. Cell surface receptors are specific proteins that are present on the surface of the cell in order to mediate an interaction between the cell and outside environment. It performs by binding an extracellular signaling molecule which results in change in cell's behavior. Ligand-gated ion channels, G-protein coupled receptors, enzyme-linked receptors. Ligand-gated ion channel. Ligand-gated ion channels have ion channels for anions and cations and constitute a large family of multipass transmembrane proteins. They participate in rapid signaling events usually found in electrically active cells such as neurons. They are also called ion channels linked receptors. Opening and closing of ion channels is controlled by neurotransmitters. To form a channel, this type of cell surface receptor has an extensive membrane spanning region. G-protein coupled receptor. G-protein coupled receptors are integral membrane proteins that possess several membrane helix. These receptors activate a G-protein upon agonist binding, and the G-protein mediates receptor effects on intracellular signaling pathways. Before the ligand binds, the inactive G-protein can bind to a site on a specific receptor. Once the gene protein binds to the receptor, the G-protein changes shape, becomes active, and split into two different subunits. One or both of its subunits may be able to activate other proteins as a result. Families of GPCR. A. Rhodopsin family. B. Secretin or glucogen receptor family. C. Metabotrophic glutamate family. Rhodopsin receptor family. Receptors. Largest group. Receptors fit most amine neurotransmitters, neuropeptides, purines, etc. Structural features. Short extracellular trail. Secretin or glucagon receptor family. Receptors. Receptors for peptide including glucagon, secretin, calcitonin. Structural features. Intermediate extracellular tail. Metabotrophic glutamate receptor. Receptor. Small group. Metabotrophic glutamate receptor. GABA-B receptor. Structural features. Long extracellular tail. Structure of G-protein. G-protein is also known as guanine nucleotide binding proteins involved in transmitting signals and functions as molecular switches. G-protein complexes are made up of alpha, beta and gamma subunits. Beta and gamma subunits can form a stable dimeric complex referred to as beta-gamma complex. G-protein mediated pathway. Secondary messenger systems involved in signal transduction. Adenylate cyclase CAMP mediated pathway. Phospholipase mediated pathway. Enzyme-linked receptors. Enzyme-linked receptors are either enzymes or directly activate associated enzymes. These are single pass transmembrane receptors with the enzymatic component of the receptor kept intracellular. The majority of enzyme-linked receptors are associated with protein kinases. In some cases, the intracellular domain of the receptor is an enzyme. Other enzyme-linked receptors have a small intracellular domain that interacts directly with the enzyme. When a ligand binds to the extracellular domain, a signal is transferred through the membrane, activating the enzyme. Activation of the enzyme sets off a chain of events within the cell that eventually leads to a response. Cell signaling mechanisms: synthesis and release of the signaling molecule by the signaling cell, transport of the signal to the target cell, binding of the signal by a specific receptor leading to its activation, initiation of single transduction pathways. Cell signaling pathways: deduction of the stimulus on the surface of the plasma membrane, transfer of signal to cytoplasmic side, transmission of the signal to effector molecules and down a signaling pathway where every protein typically changes the conformation of the next down the path, most commonly by phosphorylation by kinases or dephosphorylation by phosphorates. The final effect is to trigger a cell's response, such as the activation of gene transmission. Cellular communication. Cellular communication allows millions of cells to communicate and work together to perform important bodily processes that are necessary for survival. Both multicellular and unicellular organisms heavily rely on cell-to-cell communication. Extracellular communication. Communication by extracellular signals usually involves 6 steps: synthesis, release of the signaling molecule by the signaling cell, transport of the signal to the target cell, deduction of signal by a specific receptor protein, a change in cellular metabolism, function or development triggered by the receptor signal complex, removal of the signal which often terminates the cellular response. So, this is how our body cells work. Science has given us the magical machine called human body. This machine sensor works by the cell signaling. We feel multiple senses by this unique working system. In a nutshell, learning human body is always fascinating and endless. Happy learning!